All right, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. I am so excited. There's so much going on right now. And I just need to, I want to go through something. I was putting some things up on Facebook. I've had company, so I haven't been live too much lately. But I do want to say, like, I look at some of the stuff that's happening. The flu cases are down 95%. That means there are like no flu cases to speak of. Why? Because everything's being called COVID. A friend of mine's husband got killed in a car accident, and it was labeled COVID. They were ticked because it messed with, they didn't have health insurance and they didn't get the money for something. And I didn't really get too clear on it. But these are the types of things that we've been dealing with here. And so we've really got to keep our head, critically think. There's things that have to be making you go, Let me just say this. I want to talk about something else. I actually got on one of my posts, I want to find it here for you, where, you wonder why things are the way that they are. I put a post up, the flu was cured, because I can't believe that really aren't any more flu cases here. And someone posted this, and I want to give that person credit. So let me find it. Oh, wait, was it on that post? Maybe it wasn't. I've been posting a little bit here and there if you haven't been following me. Yeah, there it is. Do we quarantine until there are no more germs or in the world, or just until the election is over? What's your thoughts? Put it in the comments. Okay, so Michael Ritmo commented on this, and I'm going to go ahead and read you what he wrote, because it was so really well put together. The question is found just over the threshold of where an awful lot of people have chosen to stop thinking. As mentioned above, many or most, he puts in parentheses with a question mark, most are waiting for a stranger on the television to tell them what to do or think. But why? Well, he says we're well past any scientific rationale to fear the virus. Flawed and wildly inaccurate testing methods and faulty and fraudulent data management, not to mention the criminally arbitrary quote-unquote health ordinances seemingly picked at random, all evidence is pointing in one direction. But people have begun to look, people have begun to look at the virus as a referendum on politics. If you find the virus to have been mild at all, and overbearing rules to have been unnecessarily applied, then you're considered a Trump fan. If you are committed to the danger posed by the virus without regard for the 10 months of evidence and feel we're just one case away from some Hollywood end of the world movie, you're considered to be against Trump. Want to wear a mask versus don't want to wear one. This has turned into political party versus jerseys to wear. So it's all political, basically, is what he's saying. And I concur. So politics is all over this medical topic, as well as individual egos. We have folks so incredibly invested in their early fear addiction that they can't seem to unclench from it now. This entire virus event was established with criminally reckless predictions and estimates and forecasts, nothing more. Just if, could, and might repeated maniacally for months. Is that a word? And lots of people became fear addicts. So it's all fear mongering, right? Even while the early trauma was hypnotizing them. The addiction combined with the embarrassment of nearly a year's worth of being fooled is too much for some folks to admit to. And I believe I agree with that so much. It's hard to admit and again, the other thing, I'm going to get to this, that I feel is going on is people believe so adamantly about one specific direction, and other people who are, and this is where we're having this clash, that they're going like this because this group believes so adamantly in another direction because they've actually maybe done some other homework outside of the mainstream of what's been speaking to us all our whole lives. And so it's hard to believe that would be lying to us. Oh my goodness, that's hard to grasp, believe me. I feel the same way. However, I happen to fall into the group that has done some more homework and hasn't fully believed, because critically thinking, my mind is, something's off. And I'm not going to stand for, never have, never will, a party line, because that's not what I'm about. I'm not even into politics. I've been saying this from the very get-go. This isn't about politics. This is not about politics. This is about the salvation of a country and stopping human trafficking and all the other critical, crucial things that are going on right now that are so much more important. But you know what? I was listening to a guy. He has this, what does he do? It's the Underground Railroad. And I forget the guy's name offhand. It'll come back to me. I'll remember it. But he put something up on his, it just made me really, it gets me so going. He's saving so many kids from human trafficking. And he puts this up on his Facebook that the day before he put out that he had met with Donald Trump. And he said, and I lost thousands of monthly contributors to his ministry to get kids out of traffic. He said, if these people hate Trump so much, more so than saving kids from traffic, something is terribly wrong with you. And I can't but agree with that. There's something wrong if you have to understand though, now back to what I was saying, is you have the critically thinking people who've gone outside the box to find information. And then you have the people over here who are just listening to whatever the mainstream media is, which has been going after Trump and telling you how evil he is. And they're speaking all this evil about the President Trump, when meanwhile, they're saying everything that's them. They're actually accusing Trump of being racist when they are. Do some homework. Oh my gosh, it's really not that difficult if people would just get out of their own way. People don't want to get out of their own way. So you've got that going on here. And then let me finish what's going on with this guy. This has also spawned a bizarre sort of pseudo-celebrity status for, or of all people, scientists in their research, quote unquote research. Are you kidding me? They don't even have research. Do some homework into that. Their research is a bunch of malarkey. There's no double-blind study. There's no nothing. It's all in lining up with what their agenda is, which is their agenda is unbelievably evil. But you have to do the homework on that, because then nobody's going to convince you until you can go do your homework, or until, as a matter of fact, President Trump has been so genius about how he's allowing these people to destroy themselves in their cities, for example, when he's offered help and can stop it all in an hour, but they don't want the help. Why? Because they have a different agenda. It's amazing. It's amazing that people don't see this. Of all people, scientists in their research. Once again, science is being subjected to popularity ratings and social political pressure. Red flags. The science is settled. What? There's no more discussion on the matter. You got to ask yourself what that's all about, right? This guy couldn't have worded it better. Science just doesn't work that way. Obviously, and these people, where'd it go? Obviously, and these people, these pro-virus, hold on, obviously, and these pro-virus folks have become the flat earthers of 2020. They are using political authority and social pressure to stifle scientific inquiry and open conversation. It's their way, and that's that. That's how it's been going. It's their way or the highway for all the rest of us. And then, except those that are believing all this nonsense. They want to fight and get on their side. I can't even really believe what's going on. I just can't believe it. And then they're coming at you. Don't even bother with them. It's unbelievable. It doesn't matter what you say. Trump could walk on water and they would claim it's because he doesn't know how to swim. It's ridiculous. It's really absolutely ridiculous. The perpetrators of this lie are so insistent their lies aren't questioned. I'm going to address that right there. I don't even know what the next part of this sentence is. You don't even bother with them because they just like, it's like not worth it. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to walk in love here and just love people back in because they've got to at some point admit they're wrong. Jeez. And so afraid of people seeing the truth that social media platforms are calling questions unacceptable. You can't even question things on social media. Thank God that they're being called to the table to account for their censorship. But they've been saying there's no censorship, there's no there's censorship. Wait, open your eyes. Okay, all right. Reaching different conclusions. All right, hold on. The social media platforms are calling questions unacceptable. Reaching different conclusions than the lies is now banned and restricted by the neutral platform. Quote unquote neutral platforms. Pointing out medical and social and political lunacy is now labeled dangerous. Oh my gosh, guys, open your eyes. We can't have this. We can't have them controlling our freedom of speech. That's not what this country stands on. Nor does it stand on taking away our arms. I'm going to get to that in a second. I have another thing to share with you. Dangerous to them and their plans to keep us fearful in 2020. It's the fear mongering. It's the constant. So this virus fear will be around until the pseudo celebrity scientists are told to finally let up on this year's insanity. It will be around until we have enough people realize that humans simply cannot live while trying to eliminate risk from anything. I've said that, you know what, if we tested for the flu every single year up until this point, every year, test for the flu, in the numbers, millions of, we'd have billions of cases. Like the cases that we'd never open the world. That doesn't affect the death rate. The death rate on this virus, the big C19 is, I'm going to tell you what, it's 99.997% of the people recover. That's a very low, this is not a pandemic, okay? It's not a pandemic. All right. Oh, we realize that humans simply cannot live while trying to eliminate risk from anything. We've forgotten that people optimize risk in the course of our lives. Trying to avoid or eliminate risk leads to catastrophic compromises in life. For example, driving a car is risky. We don't make cars illegal. Being forced to walk everywhere. We do try to optimize the risk with guidelines and safety standards, and then we live our lives with the outcome. You should be a journalist. All right, none of this year's reaction is even close to being reasonable for the risk or even the potential risk. This virus has allowed very bad people to engineer a socio-political response package, which is behavioral chaos. According to these current rules, we should all be locked into individual plastic bubbles for all time. If we're locked down over a virus, which is proving to be less severe than the common cold, never mind any strain of influenza, this is truth. This is true. You're good, this guy. I'm going to give you credit again. Hold on. Then this logic would have us under perpetual medical quarantine until all viruses, all bacteria, molds, spores, fungi, etc. are wiped from the face of the planet. We're being ever held political prisoner until some vague suggestion of safety is reached. Whatever and whenever this is supposed to be. We're not told because those guys know everything. They don't even know because none of this was ever really about a virus in the first place. The election will certainly have an effect on this medical event. And that tells us everything. All right, I got to go back and give this Michael Ritmo. Yeah, that was like applause, applause, applause. That was it's long, but so Michael Ritmo, you should be a journalist. So I had to share that. I'll tag him when I get this on the other platforms. And I'll tell you, this is amazing. It's unbelievable. This is worldwide. This is the other person. The spikes all over the world, worse now since beginning. The spikes are worse now. Stop it. People have to wake up. Look I had the coronavirus, the Rona. I had it one day. My son had it for a little longer back in March. My daughter had it. My husband had it for a period of time. It was just various different things that went on. We were around people that had it. That's how come we know that we got it. It's, because you don't know. It doesn't feel, it feels weird. It's like a flu. It's a flu. It's not a big deal. Most people have no reaction whatsoever. They don't even know they have it. So who is at risk? Well, like every other time in the history of this world, is you quarantine not the healthy. The people that need to quarantine themselves are those that are at risk, right? So there's some evil people who've thrown elderly people, like what happened in New York was horrible. And he put them back into the Governor Cuomo there, put them back into the nursing homes. That wasn't cool. I don't agree with that. And I actually would be up in arms. And I know that there's a sign hanging from a city bridge down there. It's, you killed my parents or whatever it is. And they're ready to go nuts here. And I think he's going to be called to justice. It's my feeling. There's going to be a lot of justice. We're seeing a lot of justice happening now. Like you've got the Biden crime family, as President Trump's been talking about. That's because they've done some evil things, very evil things. But what the media does, and you have to understand this, and there's so many people out here that you can take a peek at. The media goes and they find something that President Trump said, they completely take it out of context in most cases. If you listen to the whole clip, and they take it out of context and they're trying to call him racist. Go look into the bio, look into all of their background. It's really amazing. It's really absolutely amazing what's going on. So I really want to wake people up. One other thing I wanted to share with you guys, because it's really unreal. Some of the stuff going, and I'm telling you right now, we have the chance right now to really help other people see the truth, because the truth is what's going to set us free. If I can find this here, it's not coming right up handy. All right, so, and I don't know if you guys have seen some of the stuff out on the things that are going on with the Biden family. You're going to see some major stuff dug up there. So it's Red October. They said that the hunted are now becoming the hunters. The hunters are becoming hunted, or whatever they said. It's just amazing. Red October is happening right now in our face, where all this exposure of all this evil and wicked stuff is starting to happen, and it's real exciting. All these people that are really exposing things on social media are being closed down, and all this, it's just nuts. We have to ask ourselves, like I said before, the things that make you go, where is that? Oh my goodness, I get so many people sending me stuff. I really can't believe I can't find it for you. All right, let's see if I can find it here. Oh, there's so many people to follow. Oh yeah, this one was good too. Ted Cruz really went into it here.
Last 2 days, we've seen a remarkable development. We have seen big tech. We've seen Twitter and Facebook actively interfering in this election in a way that has no precedent in the history of our country. Yesterday, the New York Post broke a story alleging serious corruption of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden concerning Ukraine. The allegations in the New York Post story, if true, indicate that Vice President Biden lied when he said he had never discussed his son's business dealings. That story, once the New York Post broke it, was blocked by Twitter and Facebook. Anyone who attempted to share it was prevented from sharing it on Twitter or Facebook. The New York Post itself, when it attempted to put out its story, was blocked on Twitter and Facebook. The New York Post has the fourth largest circulation of any newspaper in this country. Never before have we seen active censorship of a major press publication with serious allegations of corruption of one of the two candidates for president. That was last night. This morning, the story escalated and got even worse. The New York Post broke a second story of a series of emails that indicate yet more corruption, in this instance, the Biden family receiving millions of dollars from communist China government officials. Just minutes ago, I tried to share that story on Twitter. And Twitter is actively blocking right now, this instant, stories from the New York Post alleging corruption and the Biden family receiving millions of dollars from communist China. This is election interference, and we are 19 days out from an election. It has no precedent in the history of democracy. The Senate Judiciary Committee wants to know what the hell is going on. Chairman Lindsey Graham and I have discussed this at length, and the committee today will be noticing a markup on Tuesday to issue a subpoena to Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee next Friday, to come before this committee and the American people and explain why Twitter is abusing their corporate power to silence the press and to cover up allegations of corruption. And let me be clear, I don't know if these New York Post stories are true or not. Those are questions Vice President Biden should answer. But Twitter and Facebook and big tech billionaires don't get to censor political speech and actively interfere in the election. That's what they're doing right now. And so on Tuesday, the Judiciary Committee, the full committee, will be voting on subpoenas to subpoena Jack Dorsey to come before our committee.
That's so cool. So that's what's going on, guys. When I look at this kind of stuff, we have to ask ourselves, what's going on? And then, of course, when Joe Biden doesn't want to answer about court packing, just to understand, court packing is very dangerous. That's what happened in Venezuela. They just decided to add more judges, more. This is not okay, because what happens is it just leans toward one side. So there's complete control. It's what they're trying to have, is complete control. And so this is important that these guys, but again, they're fighting. There's a fight going on and the reason they hate Trump so much is he knows too much about what they're up to. And because of it, the exposure is what they're so afraid of. So I don't know if you guys saw that he told Guantanamo Bay to get ready for get the place ready for high profile Americans, which I already feel there are some that, if you think about it, some are missing in action, MIA. You don't hear about them. You don't see them, nothing. Some high profile Americans, both political, Hollywood, whatever. And you'll see that he's preparing this place because some of these people, have these are trees. This is treason. They've gone against, and the safety of our country is in question here. And it's pretty, doesn't take a rocket scientist when you listen to what's going on, that they have put our country in major risk. I mean, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, crack addict, and he's done some very, very serious endangering to our country things, and he's met with some people, and he's utilized his father's position when he was vice president to get major deals and monies, and his father was caught. You've seen it by now on the TV. Unless you're not going to see it on some of the channels. I know that some of the Fox channels stories are still good. Some of them aren't even still good on that channel, but you can see what has been going on. And so I only bring this all to you because I think it's important now that we start to realize it's time for us to open our eyes, because our country is right now it's important that we wake up and we start to realize what's going on, and we start to take action to preserve our country and the Constitution, and to stand on something like that. And because they've come in and taken over our media, they've come in, they've taken over our schools, they've turned all of our Ivy League schools, they've really taken over. And so they're the thought processes, and they've gotten into our into our schools, our public schools. And so we have to really realize that we have a job in front of us, as we get the right person into the presidency. Again, would be President Trump, of course. I mean, the obvious situation here, there's no question. We have an evil, corrupt entity versus the President Trump's done more in his presidency than I think any other president has accomplished ever. And when he first went in and he talked about draining the swamp, I didn't even know what he meant. And now I'm seeing it, and I probably have seen more than I wish I saw. I mean, it's really amazing the magnitude and depth of evil that's in the swamp that he's draining. And so as he's getting rid of these evil people he's replacing with good people, and all of these things that he's done more for Black Americans and minorities and the unemployment rate, and look at the economy, it's amazing. And then you had this China virus come in, and everybody wants to blame everything on President Trump, who had nothing to do with him. He saved millions of lives by locking the country down early. And you have them pointing the finger at him because he's just doing everything wrong. Are you kidding? Past administrations did worse and far worse with other viruses than he's done with this, which totally came in on purpose. This one came in on purpose at this point in time. Why? Because they want him out of there. And by the way, everyone's expendable. These people are so evil. Everyone's expendable. So we really have to press in and pray right now and ask the Lord. You know, if 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, seek my face, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. So it's up to us right now to pray that the righteousness and the evil would be exposed and people would rise up in that righteous anger. The humility would set in for those who have stood on this wrong. This is a wrong. It's not wrong. They're not wrong. I understand that they've listened to something. They wouldn't believe that they would be lying. But it's at a certain point, it's time to admit you're wrong. It's wrong what they've done. You can see that they're evil. Can you see that they've also blasphemed and caused this? They've drug Donald Trump's name through the mud, and they loved him before he went into to become a president. They loved him. There was nothing that they had to be fretting him or fearful, or exposure wasn't an issue. And then all of a sudden, when he went there, Donald Trump has a righteous anger that he is to bring this down. He has children and grandchildren. He wants to see our country that's been fought for. Our country's freedom is not free, and he is fighting tooth and nail. He's spent billions of dollars of his own money to do what he's doing. He didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do this, you guys. He's doing this because he loves the United States of America. He loves the people. He wants to see the country stay free, to stand for what it was originally founded on, which was freedom. So if you agree with that, guys, I really implore you to really press in and pray and seek God's face. Ask for the revelation of truth if you're really still unclear about this, because it's pretty clear what's going on. And all you really have to do is turn off the news and start to look. I'm going to tell you, I love the X22 report on YouTube. Santa Surfing is another one I like on YouTube, that you can follow a few sources to get information that's constant, but yet it's good information sourced from good sources. And so everybody wants to say, anybody that's outside the mainstream media's talking points, if you're outside of that, they want to say that you are a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, if it keeps coming true, it's not conspiracy. It's the truth. So wake up. Oh my gosh, I really pray against all deception right now. Guys, I really do. So I pray that this helps everybody to understand what's going on a little bit better. And I'll come on from time to time as I have some more stuff going on to share with you. There's a lot that's being exposed now. Thank God, I've known a lot of this for many months now, and it's starting to come onto the mainstream news. But you just have to realize it's some of the later night. I'm noticing some Fox Channel, stations that have. I think it's because they have good ratings and great numbers, like Sean Hannity, and the one after that. What is her name? But anyway, some of them have good information. Others are now, it seems like they're kind of, I don't know, they're not really telling us all the truth. But anyway, I hope that helps everybody. And remember to follow me here and then hit see first, and you'll know when I'm live. All right, guys, share this. And I'll share it on my other platforms as soon as I'm finished here. All right, God bless.